My name is Luis Sicario 23 Iniguez. I am fighting out of Portland, Oregon, representing the USA. I believe he's a great opponent. He's a good striker. I believe I have an advantage in the boxing department, so I'm gonna look to get in the pocket and beat the body and head as much as I can. For how this fight would end would be with my hand raised, either a 3-round war or a nice clean knockout. If I could get to the UFL finals, it would mean a great accomplishment. I always strive to be a champion, so it'd be one more step further in accomplishing a goal.
My name is Nikolay Veretennikov. I'm representing Kazakhstan, and I'm fight out of Huntington Beach, California. I believe I'm stronger everywhere, to my opponent. Stand up, grappling, wherever, like I'm ready everywhere. I'm think, yeah, he's a good guy. I don't think about him like a lot of, things, but I saw his last fight. He's very good. I believe it will be like a good match for me too. I try to do my best, and then for sure I'm gonna win. I'm here for the win, that's 100%.
So here we go, set and ready for this welterweight Grand Prix semi-final in Iniguez. This is Veretennikov coming up. Both these guys will have to put to the back of their mind what just happened in the other semi-final. And we welcome Nikolay Veretennikov. Now Frank Mir, you know and saw what he was able to do to Marquez Johnson back at UFL 2. A really outstanding performance that didn't just show him as a striker, which he's become very well known for, but his grappling as well, in particular hunting for those submissions and finally getting over Marquez, who comes from a fantastic camp, who has a great pedigree. He super impressed us at that event, and he seems very relaxed. For me, everybody has hit their eyes on him as maybe the one to beat in this bracket.
Yeah, Nikolay surprised me to that fight. If you'd have said how it was going to end that night was him catching him in an anaconda choke, I would have doubted it very seriously. His striking is very well trained as a striker. His shot placement is excellent. His timing, his positions, his footwork. But then to add now that extra spoke to his danger, to his weapon, the fact that he has now submissions makes it much harder for guys to train for him now. Now it's like, well, if you make a bad shot on this guy or just change levels, could be the last thing you do in the fight.
And Benson, you come from a fantastic gym, and what happened with Nikolay is Triple G, the man himself, actually said, if you want to be an MMA fighter, not just a striker, America is where you have to be. That's where you've got the big gyms like The Lab, like King's MMA, like American Top Team. So this is what he did. He took himself outside his comfort zone, outside of his country, outside of the home comforts, and he's come here to carve himself and carve his legacy. It says a lot about a man, about any sportsman, woman, athlete, where they're willing to put themselves in that sort of uncomfortable place to make themselves better.
That speaks tremendously about his dedication to the sport, how seriously he's taking it. Not just, oh yeah, I want to be good, oh yeah, I want to be good, but backing it up, moving to another country for your job, for your sport. It says a lot about him.
Yeah, he is inside the cage, flying both the flags of Kazakhstan and the USA. Now we get set and we get welcome his opponent. The music drops and we get set to welcome this man into this arena for the second time. Luis Sicario, 23, Iniguez. And Benson, I don't want to take you back to that moment because he was fighting your teammate, but it was an unbelievable comeback from, the jaws of defeat. He took an absolute battering for nearly 4 minutes, 40 seconds of a fight, and it was one left hook, a Hail Mary that he threw that earned him this spot. But it takes heart, it takes guts, determination, and skill on top of that to stay in the fight and then execute a one punch like that, right?
Oh, for sure. I think that having that in your drawer you can pull out. Oh, I know I have that knockout power. It's such a relief to know that, to believe that, to know that, hey, no matter how badly the fight's going, I am one screw away from ending the fight. Having that in your back pocket, it's a big relief. It's a big confidence boost.
And Frank, also having somebody in your corner like Ed Herman, right? Somebody who has been through wars, somebody, you know, has been in the sport for so long, fought so many big names in there, guiding some of these fighters that are coming through American Top Team Portland. Having people like that in the corner, having people, you know, advising you or even in the gym, pushing you to those depths, that's got to be a great asset.
Well, it's always great to have somebody that understands what you're going through, who's been there. You're going down a trail and you talk to somebody who's ran that trail many times before. They understand what it's like to trip and fall. They understand what it's like, the anticipation, the hard work, the sacrifices. So to have somebody with more experience that's done and lived the life that you're living is always an asset.
Final checks here for Luis Iniguez now. He gave us one of the biggest moments of the night at UFL 1. But I'm sure he won't be planning to have the same sort of fight, right, Benson? It's great to have that moment every so often in your career, but you don't want that back-to-back, do you?
Yeah, you definitely don't want that back-to-back. Hopefully he was able to look at the film, look at what went wrong for him, what went well for him, and actually grow as a fighter. Because it's awesome to have those moments, but then still get the W. He was able to, you know, have a hard fight, tough fight, but at the end of the night, he walked out of the cage with the W with his hand raised. Hopefully he's able to grow from that and get better still.
So let's get this underway. Let's hand it to the announcer, Mr. Michael Vale.
Let's get the action started. Our next bout is a semifinal in the UFL Welterweight Grand Prix, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, official weight 170 pounds. He has a professional record of 10 wins, 4 losses, fighting out of Huntington Beach, California by way of Kazakhstan. Please welcome Nikolay Veretennikov. And now let's welcome his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 6 feet 1 inches tall, official weight 170.5 pounds. He has a professional record of 6 wins, 2 losses, fighting out of Portland, Oregon. Let's welcome Nikolay Sicario 23 Iniguez.
Look at the tail of the tape between these two welterweights. 10 and 4 is Veretennikov, slight more experience. He also gives up a little bit of height, but reach identical between the two. Set and ready we are for this welterweight semi-final. We're about to get it underway. 3 5-minute rounds. Who will earn their spot December 16th in the UFL finals? Off we go. Veretennikov, black and white shorts, blue corner taking off Luis Iniguez. Red corner, black and pink shorts. For me, a real sleeper on this card. It's only 3 fights into the actual card here, but both bring the skills to really set this arena on light.
I'm excited to see Nikolay in person. His game film looks pretty impressive. I want to see what he has in person.
He looks so focused, right, Frank? You just look in his eyes, he's dialed in automatically.
Yeah, his stance is perfect. His knees are bent. He's ready to go far. If you can see his eyes, you're just analyzing where the opening is going to be at. But that has to be in the back of his mind a little bit in his training. Lewis, like, hey, make sure we tag this guy. There's always a chance he can fire back with that left hook. Let's make sure we're aware. Don't get overconfident. Don't make mistakes through success.
Fired that little left lead hand. Almost looked to stumble Luis Iniguez.
Yeah, when you're fighting somebody and you know they have that kind of knockout power, definitely don't want to leave any holes on accident open.
Now, Frank, we've had some good times and seen some great fights over in Kazakhstan, an emerging country in MMA. And look, this is certainly one of the names that country's got their eye on.
Well, you know, and MMA's rising there. Kazakhstan has some great strikers. You talk Triple G, kickboxing. They have many world champions that come out of there. So striking-wise, Kazakhstan has a great tradition.
Oh, tying each other up there, Benson. Wow.
Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. There you go.
What are your early reads on this one so far, Benson?
I think it's going pretty well. Both still kind of feeling each other out a little bit, being very cautious. I can understand Nikolay being cautious of the power that Luis has, you know. We'll see who's able to open up first.
You know what, too? People have power, but a lot of guys, when they're getting damaged, they're looking for a way to save themselves. It takes a special kind of guy that's like, hey, I'm looking to hurt you even though I might be on my way out. That's what I think really makes him more dangerous than anything, is that most guys are like, oh, he's done. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's like deer hunting. He's done. And then, boom, you get kicked with something at the last second. Like, oh, he was on his deathbed and he still got me.
Nikolay looks so thick-set at this weight as well, Benson.
I think that's a second spinning back kick that landed.
That is
pretty flush.
That first one was impressive as hell right here, right?
2 minutes, 15 seconds left in round number 1. Jumping forward with a left hook.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to do that anymore.
Right here. There you go, Nikolay. You see he's coming with it. That's what he wants. You don't have it.
I like that much better. I don't like when guys leap in with a hook. I mean, you got to be really time it perfectly, be a lot faster than the guy you're fighting, because you can run right into a straight shot and be the end of the night.
Oh, he's trying to take the back here. He did some good cage grappling at UFL 2 as well against Iniguez Johnson.
Good cage control. Use that head.
A great knee by Nikolay. But Lewis was able to absorb it, not show any wear and tear from that, and then get his double unders.
Yeah, that was one thing in Nikolay's right now. I've seen that he didn't really contest that underhook on that side. Sometimes guys have more of a judo background and a little bit more of the throws. They're okay with reaching over the top, hitting uchimatas and leg sweeps and stuff. But sometimes in MMA, like, there's a reason why the underhook is fundamentally stronger.
There you go.
Nice stepping up. Oh, look at
There he goes again. Yep, he likes that sweep.
Finish with the knee up the middle, Luis. Keep up the jab.
On those judo throws as well, the first time you might get somebody, but the second and third time, that's normally the harder time to land them.
Because you can be in a good stance and a wrestling shot still works, right?
Yeah. There it is.
Oh, there you go, driving.
Talk about good
A lot of those judo throws, your opponent has to be moving into you. They have to be off balance. You see, judo's all about unbalancing guys before they throw. So one of the easiest ways to shut it down is like, all right, I'll just pull away from you. And that's why you say the first time to catch you by surprise. It's hard to be consistent with them as the fight goes on.
35 seconds, and in with another shot, this time to the mat.
Great entry, nice double pitch, yeah. Perfect timing, pitched his knees together. He's climbing, hooking the legs. Oh, this is bad for Lewis. He's got the legs trapped. It's hard now to get his feet to the ground so he can get up. He's going to have to fight him square up right now until he gets his knees split.
15 seconds to try and get out of this one for Iniguez.
See if he can do like a mounted guillotine here.
10 seconds.
I remember when Jake Shields was the first guy I really ever paid attention to. That was phenomenal, of just riding the legs against the cage, and then Khabib became probably more famous for it as far as level of success. But they're just so menacing to be against the cage and have someone wrap their legs around yours and you just can't get up. You're being smothered and they're beating the hell out of you.
Yeah, seeing the evolution of the game, the evolution of MMA, Jake Shields was for sure one of the first guys to ever bring it to that level, where he's able to leg trap the legs like that against the cage and use it for great control, great damage, and open up a submission attempt. Jake was for sure one of the first guys to do that.
We move into round number 2. Interesting first round though, and it was nice to see a change in game plan halfway through from Nikolay Veretennikov, mixing it up a little bit and having some success getting it to the mat. Benson, would you assume that the corner might say, right, let's take that route. We can get him to the ground pretty easily, get that wrapped up. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's a good call from the corner if they do say that. They would say, hey, we took him down pretty easily. We control him on the ground. Let's get back to that. Oh, beautiful slip upper.
Yeah, level change, being well-rounded. I think that's one thing he's really shown in this fight. Not that he doesn't want to win the fight, but I think his camp's also, hey, there's a fight beyond this too. Let's really showcase and make ourselves more well-rounded and more dangerous.
Off we go, round number 2. Luis Iniguez in the red corner, Nikolay Veretennikov in the blue. Once again, just taking the center of the cage, Nikolay Veretennikov.
Keep your hand up, keep your hand up, stay sharp.
Trying to jump in again.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that one.
There's very few people who can land that jumping, leaping hook very well. Roy Jones was...
But even him. Not until he was like, and then at 34, it stopped working. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a lot of athletic ability that requires, you know?
Now in with the clinch up against the cage.
I do like Nikolay's knees and all the clinch work he has.
Yeah.
He's landed some very solid knees.
I like too, because you see now Lewis was, you know, trying to take away the back face, and we saw it in the first round. That's not usual areas for guys to understand where to throw knees, because you don't see those positions in Thai boxing. That's a wrestling position, and in wrestling, you don't throw knees. So it's really a unique MMA position to be able to fire from. Some of the knees from the clinches that we use.
Good body work too. Good close range body work here.
The old hammer fists on the side of the thigh there.
Those, I remember one time I was sparring with a guy, he hit me with it, Cody East. First shot, I'm like, what are you doing? Second shot, I'm like, that's annoying. Third shot, I'm like, oh man, I better, that's gonna like.
Old school dead leg.
For 2 weeks, I was limping around, I'm like, what an asshole.
Where you at, Cody East? Where you at?
Because you don't think it works at first. You're like, oh, it's a hammer fist. That seems, I mean, come on, like, you know, you're gonna hammer fist me in the quad.
Same spot though, right?
Yeah, it's like, there's not a lot of padding on the glove there. And you can get some acceleration with that hammer fist. It's actually, it can get your attention. Oh!
Oh, nice work there from Luis.
He dig down for that body shot, but he gave him the double leg because of it.
Oh.
Okay, now hook the legs. Right away. Right away. Okay.
Lacing the legs.
Yeah, good job. He split the knees, got wrist control.
Luis back to his feet though.
Yeah, that was textbook. If anybody at home goes, hey, how do you get out of that position? You have to face the mat like that, split your legs. Wrist control was awesome. Get your knees under you so you can stand up.
This is a great clinch battle this second round. Great clinch battle.
Yeah, I think Nikolay sometimes makes it harder than it has to be, because see how, again, he doesn't contest that underhook. He's okay with an overhook. And that is even reaching up above, which I would consider that a big sin.
Oh, Luis going for the takedown.
Yeah, he gave it up because of
oof. Looking like he's going to throw a kick and just chopped him with the elbow there, the forearm.
Lewis sometimes bends a little too far over at the waist there.
I think they're doing great clinch work, digging the body shots.
that's
I love
beautiful
that.
too.
I love the knees to the body. I want a little more control. I want my opponent's back to the cage almost the whole time. If he's able to circle me and put my back to the cage, I know it looks bad to the judges. And right now, you got to think about going to the judges and what looks good, what looks bad to them.
Yeah.
When your back's on the cage, it does not look good in this position. If you switch it around, just circle, get his back to the cage, a much better looking position for you.
Well, the thing is, I think guys with a boxing, kickboxing background will sit with their back against the cage and not realize how bad it looks. Because, well, a boxing ring, you have ropes you can pull back on and create space to land shots with your back against the ropes. With the cage, you can't create space. It really becomes much more dominant for the guy on the outside.
Veretennikov, oh, good knee there. And a big elbow, big shots here. Oh my goodness.
Great knee.
And again. Wow. Oh, he's trying to feed for that guillotine. And again. It felt like Veretennikov was taking it up a little gear. Sicario was trying to work his way back in and having success in the clinch.
He landed some good power shots there, Nikolay Veretennikov.
Oh! Dropped him! Oh, the referee stopped it! Oh! Oh! I think the way he fell down, but we saw from Luis Iniguez just what sort of durability he had.
Yeah, I think when they stop it soon like that, it's like, well, was he in danger of another shot gonna hurt him badly? I don't know. The way the left hook, give him a little bit of an opportunity to showcase that he's able to recover.
And then as a referee, maybe watching his last fight, knowing that he's still dangerous after getting rocked, maybe give him an extra second, half a second to see how he recovers.
Exactly.
Great fight though.
Great
Good job.
fight.
Great clinch work from these boys. I love to show respect too.
Luis Iniguez will be back for sure, no doubt. Veretennikov takes that victory. We'll have a little look back at it, I'm sure. And we still have to see how it unfolds after the no contest that was the other semi-final. We saw Ashley Reese take on Djokovic Duraev. That illegal kick saw that deemed a no contest. And Luis Iniguez can hold his head up high, right? Both times he's been inside this UFL cage, he has given gutsy performances, and some would argue that is an early stoppage, particularly when you've seen how much damage he's been able to take and still come out with the win in other fights.
I think you definitely argue a little bit of an early stoppage, but hats off to Nikolay for getting the job done and landing those big shots.
Just talk me through it now, Benson. I think we're going to see some of the action.
I think the knees is what started it. The knees to the body brought his hands down low. Recap of the whole fight. I think the knees from the clinch is what started it for Nikolay, and then he's able to finish it.
So let's make it official. Let's hand it to Mike Vale.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Joe Coca stops his bout at 4 minutes, 16 seconds of round number 2 for your winner by TKO due to strikes. And now moves on to the finals of the UFL Welterweight Grand Prix, Nikolay Veretennikov.
So there we have it, winner by TKO and earning his spot December 16th here back in Mesa, Arizona to vie for that UFL Gold, the inaugural welterweight title. Prior to that, he will have a word with former heavyweight champ Frank.
How did you feel about your performance?
First round, I feel it's not mine, but I'm a little bit tired. I don't know why, like maybe it's nervous.
You're showing a lot more grappling and evolution of your fighting. Last fight, you won by submission. This fight, takedowns, much more for what we're used to seeing from you. Is this the new version of you and you're looking to improve upon?
You know what? I work with the best guys at the world. They like a beast, My friend Ty, my friend Harley, and then of course, my family, Kings MMA. Thank you for all of them, Thank you for my manager Tiki. I appreciate, brother, for this opportunity.
Well, I'm sure you saw the fight before yours where you had a little bit of a fiasco. Incidental, no contest, right, for the injury. But that means Ashley Reese is moving forward in the tournament and will be facing you. How do you feel about it as far as your next opponent?
I don't know. It's like everything's coming from the gut, I believe that. Maybe, I don't know. That's one thing. I know the Johar, and he's very, very good guy, and I'm not really happy to fight him, But
so you don't have anything personal grudges. You're a winner, Nikolay Veretennikov.